We all know and love the concept of binge watching, but now, with the approach of manga mania, it is time to binge read. Hello everybody and welcome to another video here on the most random channel you probably follow. On today's video, I'm going to talk to you about books that you can use to binge read. It is this pile here. These are 5 books. I don't know what you want to, but these are 5. We're going to go with 5 binge reading recommendations. Now try and say that 5 times fast. Binge reading recommendations, binge reading recommendations, binge reading recommendations, binge reading recommendations. The books that I'm going to talk to you about today are not necessarily only books that I gave 5 stars or not necessarily books that I read in one day, because sometimes we read a book in just one day or in one sitting, but that's because we are crazy and not because that book is so good that everyone's going to do the same. So what I did, I went to my bookshelf and I tried my best to find the books that, even if I took 2 weeks to read, books that I think that other people might end up thinking it's so enjoyable and so gripping that they end up reading it so fast. So if you are looking for recommendations for this manga competition where the goal is to read as much as possible, obviously you need to read books that are gripping, books that keep you going, books that make you want to finish them in one day, because can you imagine if you finish one book every day during the manga competition, you'll be finishing 14 books. That's just all I'm gonna say. So on today's video, I'm gonna share with you 5 books that I think are perfect for binge reading. I do have a few thrillers in here because that's just my personal taste. When I read a thriller, if the thriller is very mysterious and good and all those things, then chances are I'm gonna read it like fast. I don't want to keep you any longer waiting for the list, but before we get started, let me just mention that if you jump over to Filipa's channel, you're gonna have there a list with 5 advice to read more during the Manga competition. So if you put both of our videos together, you will have 5 advices to read and 5 books that are good recommendations for reading fast. Books that you're not gonna want to put down and you're gonna read it all super quickly and you're gonna kick everyone's in the ass because you're just gonna be fire. Your fingers are gonna be on fire turning those pages. Yeah, girl, let's go. The first book that I'm gonna mention, The Chain by Adrian McKinty. This book has also been translated in Portuguese, so for those of you who don't like reading in English, you have this in Portuguese. Here's the cover. Enough of the cover. This book is a mystery thriller and it's about this chain of kidnaps that is happening. Basically, one day a mom receives a phone call from another mom saying,
Hi, I kidnapped your daughter. Don't worry, she's fine. But if you ever want to see her again, you have to transfer I don't know how many dollars into this account and then kidnap another kid and then call those parents and say that.
So the mom goes, transfers the money, kidnaps another kid and then calls the parents saying,
Hi, I have your son. Don't worry, he's fine. But you ever want to see it again, you're gonna have to transfer, I don't remember how many dollars, into this account and kidnap another kid.
So those parents go, kidnap another kid, call their parents and go like,
Hi, I have your son. Don't worry, he's fine.
You get the jinx of the thing, right? It's basically a chain of kidnappings, of parents kidnapping other parents' kids, and this identity that is behind this all, and what is happening, why are all these kidnappings happening, why are these people being chosen. This book is it's so addictive. I think this is officially the book that it got me stuck to it the quickest. Like on chapter 3, I was already like, okay, I'm not sleeping tonight, I'm just gonna read the whole thing. It's so addictive, people. It's so addictive. If you're gonna believe me on something, this is so. Next up, I have 2 books from the same author, and that's why it counts as one. You know what I mean? This author, I have here the 2 books that I've read from her. I haven't read anything else, although I have a few more in my bookcases. I enjoyed both of them, one more than the other, and neither of them I read super quick, but I do see how some people could possibly read them in one day. It's also a very loved author. Probably most of you have already read them because everyone knows these books anyway. Let's go. Colleen Hoover, and the books that I have is November 9, and this one is It Ends With Us. I have the Portuguese edition, so surprise, they're also edited in Portuguese. These ones are like contemporary novels, a bit romantic, not overly exaggerated, and the writing of Colleen seems to me very gripping and very, I don't know, you just feel somehow connected to these characters And I can totally see some people reading her books in one go. November 9 is about this couple that meets one day in November 9. I forget exactly how they meet because I've read this a bunch of years ago. But basically they agree not to change any email addresses, no phone numbers, no address, no anything. They spend the day together on the November 9th, and they decide that for the following 5 years they're gonna meet every year on the same date. And they're gonna see if it's possible for them to have a relationship from there on, because there's something that one of them is trying to accomplish within 5 years and doesn't want to get in a relationship for those 5 years. So they agree to meet every year so they don't lose contact totally, but to put their relationship on hold for 5 years. I think it's something like that, but please don't quote me because, like I said, it's been a few years. So the entire book is those 5 years, and it's only set on November 9, and you get chapters from both of them, so you get to see what each of them has done during the year that just passed. And it's so good. It has a little bit of mystery as well, but it's mostly just a nice romance that kind of gives you hope, and it just makes you want to believe in love and believe that it is possible to find your true love. This other one, This Ends With Us, it's about this 25-year-old girl that moves to Boston, and she meets this guy, and it's their relationship, but then something starts happening. I don't want to get into detail because, you know, I don't know exactly what you guys consider spoiler or not, but something happens, and she kind of starts seeing her relationship mirroring her parents' relationship, and she doesn't want that to happen. So it's basically her trying to stop that, whatever that is, and at the same time she has some internal conflicts, and it's their relationship. It's very focused on their relationship. And yeah, I do think, even though I don't remember many details anymore because it's been a few years already as well, I do think that some of you will be able to read it in one day, or like half in one day, half in the other, because you do want to find out what happened and what's gonna happen and what is it that is gonna end with us. So this is my second recommendation. I know it's been 3 books, but bear with me. I was only allowed 5 recommendations, so I only brought 5. Next up, I have the Heartstopper series from Alice Oseman. Yes, I know I have 3 books here, but you know, it's just one, right? It's just one. Anyway, this is a graphic novel. Let me show you the covers first. So this is the first book, this is the second book, and this is the third book. Oh my god. Yeah, so there you go. These are the covers. These are graphic novels, and let me show you like the style of the art inside. I hope there's no spoilers in this page. This is the second book. This is the first book. This is about 2 guys, Charlie and Nick. Boy meets boy, where Charlie is assumingly gay and everyone knows it. He was outed by his colleagues in school. Everyone found out and started bullying him a lot, but now he's over it. The bullying finally stopped and he's fine. Let them know I'm gay kind of thing. He got over it. Then we have Nick, who is like one of the players in school, as in football players, not players as in with the girl, a football player, so the athletic kind of guy. And he always thought he was heterosexual, but then somehow they meet in a class and they start developing feelings for each other. So they start being in a relationship. This is not spoiler because everyone knows what this book is about. They start being in a relationship, and Charlie is helping Nick coming out and being okay with being gay, but at the same time in a perspective as in like, if you want to come out, fine, but if you don't want to come out, no one really needs to know those things. It's like, it's your personal life, so it's up to you if you want to announce it or not. And then on the third book they go together to Paris in a school trip. So these are the 3 books that are out at the moment. I did want to bring them to this list because they are graphic novels, so obviously you can read them in one go. Each one takes like 1 hour, 1 hour and a half to read, depending on how fast you go. It's a really cute, adorable story that touches some of the most important topics in our teenager lives. Next up! Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. I've spoke a lot about this book. It's also edited in Portuguese, so some of you might know the Portuguese edition. Here's the cover. Enough of the cover. This book basically tells us the story of Tiffy and Leon, and I think all books should do this, of putting the characters' names on the cover because it's good for people like me. So Tiffy and Leon don't really know each other, but they started living together in 1-bedroom apartment with the agreement that during the night the apartment is Tiffy's and during the day she leaves to go to work, and the apartment is Leon, who's a nurse and works the night shift. Each of them has the house for 12 hours. They don't know each other, but somehow by the things they each leave behind, and they start writing notes to each other and sharing their meals, like leaving the leftovers in the fridge with a note saying you can have it, enjoy. With those little things, they start developing a friendship and sharing things with each other that they haven't shared with anyone else. It's a romantic book. It's about their relationship, but it's also about loving yourself and loving what you do and be confident. And Tiffy is very silly and she's embarrassed by the things that embarrass us all, and it's just funny. It's really funny to read. So if you haven't read it yet, please do, because this is just, it's so relatable that you're not gonna want to put it down. And then finally, my last recommendation. If you haven't guessed what it is, then you haven't been following my channel with close attention, because obviously, no other choice, I do have to recommend The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. Guys, so this was my favorite book of 2019. However, that's not why it's here. It's here because it is so gripping. It's so mysterious. And I think it's one of those thrillers that most people will enjoy, I risk saying. Because it's a bit scary, but not that much. Not like there's no zombies coming out of your bedroom. But at the same time, it is a tad scary. And also, it's about this dreamy smart house that I think most of us would like to live in, where everything is digital, everything is a gadget, there is an app that controls everything. For me, that's life goals. I don't know about you, but for me, that house was right there. This is about a nanny that goes to work for that house to look after the 3 kids. As soon as she gets the job, the parents of the 2 kids go away in a business trip, and she's left with the 3 kids straight away. Like, she's just met them, she was with them for like a day, and then she's left alone in that mysterious house full of gadgets, and she has to look after the kids, cook, figure out how the house works and how to do basic things like turn on the shower and all those things. Then obviously weird things start happening, and she doesn't know if she's going crazy, she doesn't know if the house is haunted, she doesn't know what it is. The most important thing about this book, however, is the fact that it's written through letters. When the book starts, the letters are written by this babysitter, the current one that we are following, and she's in jail. She has been accused to murder one of the kids. So she's writing letters to this very famous lawyer, asking him to help her, to defend her, to get her out of jail. So through those letters, she starts telling her story and starts telling him what happened in that house. The whole book is written through letters, but honestly, you completely forget that you are reading letters, because you just get so immersed in the story that at the end of each chapter she goes like, and that's why, Mr. Whatever, you need to help me, please help me get out of jail. I swear I didn't kill anyone. Look what it says here at the back. I know you don't know me, but you have to help me. I didn't kill anyone. So the whole book is just this former nanny writing letters after she's in prison for murdering one of the kids. However, you don't know which kid died. You know she's taking care of those 3 kids, and the whole story, the 3 of them are alive. So what is it gonna happen? Who's gonna die? Did she do it? Did she not? It is so good. You can read this in 1 day. You can read it in 2 days if you want. It's so gripping. It's so mysterious. I don't get tired of recommending this book to everyone, even to the people who don't usually read thrillers. Please give this one a try. You also have the audiobook for this book, which is so well produced. It's so scary. Even though the book is not that scary, the audiobook is top-notch scary. If you like being awake at night and being afraid of your own shadow, then I do recommend the audiobook. But if you are a little chicken, then maybe just proceed with caution into that audiobook parameter. It's so good. Whatever you do, please read this during Mangalipa, and you're gonna make all my dreams come true. My dream during the Mangalipa competition is to put everyone reading this book, because you must. And that is it, guys. These are my 5, they're only 5, okay? 5 book recommendations for binge reading. Not only during this Mangalipa competition, but obviously this is the perfect occasion to start exercising the act of binge reading, which means reading like there's no tomorrow, which basically it's the goal of our competition. I hope you like my recommendations. If you have some more recommendations, especially about book genres that I didn't mention, like fantasy, true crime, non-fiction, if those are things that you read and you have good recommendations of things that you think most people will be able to read really quickly, not only that you read really quickly, things that you think people will be able to read really quickly and will be able to appreciate regardless of what they usually read. So if you have those recommendations, then please share it with everyone there in the comments so everyone can get as many recommendations, because obviously I can only recommend things that I've read. I cannot recommend anything else, and I don't really read other genres. So if you have those recommendations, leave them in the comments. I hope you like this video. Let me know in the comments, like I said, if you have any recommendations for everyone else participating in this channel, and don't forget to check out Philippa's video for her 5 advice on how to read more and more during our Mangalet competition. Good luck to everyone who's going to be participating, and may the odds be ever in your favor.